Hey, loves. How are you? I hope you are well. I wanted to just jump on super quickly because I realise I've shared with you that we've made this beautiful journal and I've shared with you a little bit about it and I've showed you some of the pages and the artwork and the colouring pages and the affirmations and the rituals and the stuff. But I haven't shared with you why. Why create a journal? Why journal? Where do you start? Journaling for me has become such a transformational, powerful reality in my life. And when I started, I did that thing that everybody does when they start something new. I'm going to start this amazing journaling practice and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to do it every day and I'm going to connect with it every day and it's going to be a thing. And then it's a little bit like a diet. You forget to do it one day and then you think, oh, I'm rubbish. I'm never going to do this. It's not going to work. And you just give up. So, how many of you have got a notebook shoved somewhere in the back of a bookshelf that you thought about journaling once? This is what changed it for me. What changed it for me was when I made a connection, a physical connection with my journal. And in the front of here, there's a blessing for your journal. And I encourage you to give her a name. I say her because my journals are always her and they're always weirdly called Doris. I don't know why. And then you switch up why you journal. I journal because I found it really hard to trust anyone for a very long time. I didn't have that bestie. I didn't have the person that I could share with. And even when I did have those people that I thought were safe places, they would always want to give me advice. There was always a risk of fear of judgment. And basically, I didn't want to have their projection all over me about how bad it might have been for me, because actually some of these things weren't bad for me. I just needed to offload them. We have Circle for that. I created Sacred Sister and our Sacred Code and our circles for that reason. But I would still lean into my journal. So the first thing I encourage you to do is to get hold of your journal and to make friends with her and to bring her into your world and into your life and to allow her to speak to you, allow her to connect with you. Give her a name. Let her give you her name. Then treat her like she's your bestie. When you're just falling apart and there's nowhere else to share and it's not safe, bring it to your journal. I've taken things to my journal before where they've started off like F off, F off, F off, F off, F off, until I've got all of that rage and all of that anger and all of that fear and all those tears and snot out. Then I can sit with my journal and be like, okay, what's really moving me underneath this? That's where the magic is. That's where the power is. That's where the place of you being able to totally connect with a deeper understanding of yourself comes in. So the first thing is to connect with your journal. Really, really bring her into your world. The second is treat her like she's your bestie. When you really need to offload something and there's nowhere to go, take it to your journal. Thirdly, is to not worry about it being a daily practice. Connect with her when you really need to. Connect when there's something to share. Connect when there's something to offload. Connect when you're curious as to what's moving you. Then you might be worried. Perhaps you're worried about, well, what if someone picks up my journal? What if I share something deep in there and someone picks it up? Your journal should be a safe place. One of the things that I created within this journal, and the reason it has this beautiful ring binding, is that you can take the pages out. So if you have written on a page and there's something in there that you either want to release because ritually it's done and you're ready to release it, or you're worried about it being seen by somebody, just take it out. Go and set light to it. Go bury it in the woods. Go release it wherever it needs to go. And you are still left with all of this amazing artwork, the rituals, the poems, the prayers, everything is still in there. but you can release the pages that you don't need to keep. I also notice what I love about this journal is I can flip this over, right? And I can write on it wherever I am. So I'm a bit in love. You haven't noticed. But more importantly than our journal is get yourself a piece of paper today and just start. If you needed to speak to somebody and you needed somewhere to offload, get a piece of paper and start today. When you've offloaded, watch what happens to your nervous system. When we're holding all of this stuff and we're holding it in our heads and we're holding it in our bodies and, we feel the pressure of what it is that we're holding, it has nowhere to go. It becomes a bit like a ticking time bomb. When we release it, whether we speak it, whether we put it down in words, in writing, whether we share it on video, however we do that, our nervous system says, okay, you've got this. You're doing something about this. I don't need to hold it anymore. You ever heard that saying, a problem shared is a problem halved? It's only halved if you share it with the right people. If you've ever taken that analogy and shared something and suddenly it's like, oh shit, I'm in a bigger minefield now than I ever was before because something's been gossiped about or something's been shared or I've been given some advice and I followed it and it wasn't good. So that saying for me is important, but where you share it is really important. So how do you get it out of your head? You write it, you speak it, you share it, you connect with it, and then you get curious. Why? Why am I feeling that way? What is going on underneath the surface? So journaling for me transformed my life, especially when I was a single mum and I would get up at 6 in the morning, an hour before I had to get the kids up so that I could really get my head around the day. And my journal then at that point in my life was the most powerful place. It was the space that I could really connect with myself and find out what was going on. So I encourage you, if you've never done it, to grab a journal, to connect with her, to offload whatever's moving you in this moment, to recognize how that feels. And take your time to spend a little bit of time listening to your own soul's whispers, listening to what your heart really wants you to know, instead of just being in the thoughts all of the time. Take care. Lots of love.